How's everybody doing out there? YDBT Daily coming at you on a Thursday. You know, I'm pretty lucky. A lot of the news cycles tend to have Monday, Tuesday, and then Thursday as heavy news day. So when people release news, it tends to be on a Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday. They bury it if it's on Wednesday or Friday. Friday, people are getting ready for the weekend, and they just kind of bury news. So, of course, Shelby, a shadow of its former self, has now introduced yet another GT with a Whipple, except this time they call it the Shelby GT350. And if you want to opt for the R model, actually, I think there's two. I think there's three. I think there's a Shelby 350, then a supercharged one, then a R, or maybe the 350 on the R. I don't know. I don't care. But the best thing about the Shelby GT350 is that they're claiming that it has a tuned suspension, and eagle-eyed viewers of, you know, the fans of the show were like, Alex, I think you want to see what kind of tuned suspension they got going on there. We'll talk about that and many more things, but not before Mr. Bill O'Reilly says to do it live.
Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
It does suck. You know, the S650 is just a done car. It's like, who the hell wants to buy that? PMAS doesn't, because it doesn't matter. PMAS, again, PMAS, the best cold air intake on the planet. Nobody else matters. Check out his videos, PMAS Airflow on YouTube. Check out what he's got going on, just flowing shit nonstop. Hopefully he gets some videos up so he can give us some data. DNAperformance.com. Not only do they pay their bill on time for sponsorship, but they also provide you the best prices for online parts, where you want to get fuel systems, you want to get wheels, tires, you name it, radiators, Foxbody parts, carburetors, anything you can think of. DNAP Performance can get you hooked up. Belak Industries, that's right. Damian Borrato helping out the drug dealers in Miami, getting everything going down there. Buy some Belak so he can go 100 miles an hour in his Parts Farm. Partsfarm.com. Use late model parts, cranker pallets, wheels, tires, hoods, rolling chassis, you name it. Anything used, hit up Partsfarm.com. And Two Auto Solution, Rami's out on Total Solution in Puerto Rico. He's going to start building some serious stuff down there. Came across some guys that have some serious money. They want their dick to hang low, and they want to let you know that they can get after it. So hopefully we can help them out and get them going in the right direction. As always, we're going to go to ridgeprints.com, Alex, learn how to spell. ridgeprints.com/YDBT. You're going to go there if you want to buy some merch and help out the kid and get him some money. You got hats, you got shirts, you got hoodies, Hush Money hoodies, Section 8 hats, shirts and hoodies, YDBT vertical, YDBT in like camo, Hush Money hoodies, YDBT long sleeve, short sleeve, green, Amri, YOLO, Dolo, stickers, high visibility shirts. You get it all at ridgeprints.com. Let's say hi to the people here. Then we'll get to talking about the Shelby GT350. We're going to read the Motor One article. He's pumping out some good stuff. The Jocko Bell, Frank Donahue, Glockschna, Tiller, GTO, SK Productions, Steve Marrero, Andrew Ibarra, Reyes Bill, Yusuf, CJM, D-Rock Fox, Cornfed, 1080, El Patron de la Cerveza, D-Rock Fox, Sarah Sarin, Cornfed, Cobra, Blue Thunder, Barry McCockiner, El Verga Larga, Barry McCockiner again, D-Rock Fox, 50 Stallion, El Verga Larga, Diego, D-Rock Fox again. Apparently 5 guys get on and just talk to each other for a little bit. Dixon, 225, D-Rock again, Barry, Izzy R, Black Cobra, Garage Built Coyote, Cobra 460, Garage Built Mofler, Dustin Garrison, Bryson Whip, giving you the links, doing the Lord's work. Cobra 460, Begalos, Mr. Canada himself, Rodney Sarin, Alfredo Diaz, Gregory Upfits, Alfredo Diaz, El Verga Larga, The Wolf, Mike S, Mustang Dennis, CJM, Carlos Pajena, Slow 99, RC Connection, Beyond, Joseph Lacey LaFoxy, Joseph Roman, Osmond Condi, 94 GT Vert, Nazzle, RC Connection, Evan Lynn, is that what it says here? Oh my God, there's a lot of people on. Evan Lynn, Built Boosted, Revit Racing, Bonnelberg, Jessica Bessica, Okay. All things boost. Jose V. John Bonanno. V-Town. Miguel LJB. Miguel JB? Venom Racing. SVT. Chapa. Travis. And let's get all the way to the bottom here so we can start talking about this fucking abomination that Shelby is putting out there. Toilet Dumper. Kevin Bordeaux. Boris Garage, JL, Lobus, Cobra, Damien, Predator GT500, Shane, Gas Powered Stick, Commander 316. Let's get right to it, kiddos. We're going to talk about Shelby releasing yet another Whipple S650 and calling it something different. Motor One article by Christopher Smith today at noon released. The Mustang Shelby 350 is back, but no, not from Ford. The latest inspiration is a Shelby American project that comes with an upgrade suspension and up to 830 horsepower. Fresh off of the announcement that Ford and RTR were collaborating with an EcoBoost, we now have a Shelby GT350 in the mix, and it's very different from the last one. Right? It's not a different motor. It's a fucking GT. It starts its life as a GT. However, for starters, Ford isn't involved in the project. This is all Shelby, with some help from a Michigan-based company called Turnkey Automotive Motorsports. As such, this car is simply called the 2025 Shelby 350 at the exterior badging points, all the exterior badging points to Shelby. And there's even more Shelby branding around the interior. Under the hood, supercharged models have a Shelby Performance inscribed in the intake cover. However, it's still embossed. Mustang, however, is still, well, of course Mustang is embossed on the plastic radiator cover. It's a Mustang. It's not these people. That's the other big difference from the previous 350. Instead of a high revving flat plane crank, the Shelby offers a new model in two flavors. The supercharged version gets a big Whipple bolted to the 5-liter Coyote engine, developing 810 horsepower, or you can opt for the naturally aspirated version, which soldiers on at Ford's rating of 480 horse GT numbers. And this is all sounds very vaguely familiar. It's pretty much the same choice you get in the Shelby Super Snake. Only difference is the Super Snake makes 830 horsepower. Actually, so does the 350, provided to get the R model. It's a more aggressive version aimed at track use. What track with a Whipple? What track? Road course? Boy, you better be doing one lap. Shelby bumps the power and adds carbon fiber tub interior, an integrated cage, fully adjustable suspension, Alcon Racing brakes, and a plethora of other race car bits. This is where the collaboration with Turkey Automotive comes into play. The company has had a history of competition spec vehicles and is working with Shelby American to build a dedicated track. You think Shelby owners are going to take this thing to the track? Bro, this is a cars and coffee. Look at me. Again, there's a market for these cars. There's an absolute market. We increased the horsepower by almost 70%, tuned the suspension, opened up the exhaust, smoothed the aerodynamics, and give it more sex appeal. Pricing isn't fully explained either. Shelby says that the supercharged 350 starts at $104,000, but costs for the naturally aspirated version of the 350R aren't available and will be limited to just 560 units, matching the total production of the original Shelby 350 in 1965. An additional 36 350Rs will be made along with a limited number built by other shops and distributors for markets outside of the United States. Shelby says each car has a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty and retains Ford powertrain warranty, and the cars will be sold through Shelby authorized Ford dealers in the US. Both models will be available this year. Well, the nice thing is that Carroll Shelby actually approved of it. And when we reached out for comment for Carroll Shelby's skeleton, he actually did agree with the sex appeal of the new 350. And this is what he had to say.
Damn, baby, you're digging me out.
Okay.
If I throw a Whipple on my BMX, is it a Shelby BMX? For Christ. Jesus, titty fucking Christ, another body kit.
I mean, Carol, don't you like the sex appeal of this car?
You know what else I was blowing off in the weeds? Your dad.
No, but what do you think about the tuned suspension?
Man, I could go for tall glass of Mexican dick right now.
I don't know. I mean, don't you like the new body kit that's going on it? I think it's pretty good.
Damn, baby, you're digging me out.
Okay, so apparently Carroll Shelby is not a fan. But anyway, let's talk about this. I am blown away that people don't pay attention to the details. And you know who does? Patreon. And on Patreon, check this out. On Patreon, an eagle-eyed viewer was like, they have BMR parts on this 350 and the bolts are loose. So that's right. So I said, no, there's no freaking way. And then you go to the article and then you start going through the article, right? This is the actual article. See, we're still in the article. And they got pictures of the tuned suspension. Whoa. What the hell happened? Right. Whoa. This looks like vertical links. And this is a BMR kit, bro. This is, and I was like, maybe it's not a BMR kit. There's no way it could be a BMR kit. BMR S650 cradle lockout. Son of a bitch. Well, no, definitely don't go there. Oh, we don't want some cuck sight on this stuff. Yeah, there we go. So apparently they have the exact same cradle lockout on a GT350 that they're going to offer you for $100,000. There's your tuned suspension, kiddos. There you go. So a lot, and and some aftermarket dampeners and stuff like that. But BMR private label lockouts with a Shelby logo on them, and I was like, that's all I need to see. I don't even give two shits about anything at all. So I started going, wait a minute. Is there a market for this vehicle? Absolutely. Every single one made is going to be sold. So the people, and this is why, this car is aimed at the uninformed buyer that wants attention. This car is 100% a showpiece. This car is 100% a trophy. This car is not better than the 16 through 2020 GT350. Not even close. I would love for some idiot to buy this thing and put it up against a flat plane crank 500 plus horsepower, 3160 equipped GT350. And you're going to go, so how is it that cars are newer but performing worse than cars that were made the previous generation? This is the malaise era I was talking to you guys about. So now Ford is just, not Ford, this isn't Ford's deal, this is Shelby's deal. They buy a car off the lot, they take it to a third party slaps BMR parts on it, Shelby puts on their body kit, puts some wheels on it, slaps $100,000 price tag on it, and it will sell. But nobody that knows anything about anything will buy it. This is a trophy piece. I'm trying to think of a car that you can equate it to. Does Chevy make anything that doesn't perform that great, but is a trophy piece besides like a Stingray or something like that? No, but the thing is, a Corvette's a Corvette. Like it's a Corvette, so you're already like a step above. So I was kind of blown away that they are offering this in light of offering you previously a Super Snake. Remember the Super Snake? $60,000 Super Snake, and the difference visually between the Super Snake and the 350R is like the valance, the front valance, and like something simple, like very small. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'll be damned if I bought a $160,000 Super Snake with a Whipple, and then some guy is gonna buy a $104,000 same looking vehicle, same power output, and it's $40,000 less or $50,000 less dollars. But again, guys, this is dick measuring. There is a market for this. But I laughed. I go, oh my God, are you kidding me? They put BMR parts on this thing, called it a tuned suspension, and are selling it for like $100,000+. Now you see why I was all up in arms about this thing not being tunable, all up in arms about what's going to happen to Mustang. Someone said it better than any way I could have put it. Lee Bostick, right? Lee Bostick follows me on Instagram. And just because you message me on Instagram and I don't reply doesn't mean I didn't see it. I to engage with you, I kind of have to, like, I don't know, have some kind of history. Lee, I've known for a long time. So I get a lot of messages, and if I don't reply, don't be mad about it. I just don't want to engage with everybody. No offense. That's why Patreon's a thing. I get paid to engage there. So Lee was like, I would have never known about anything Mustang. I would have never known that this was bad. I would have never known that this was stupid. And I thought, shit, there are people out there still, to this day, that think this is badass, that think this is a good thing. Shelby's coming out with a car. And then I go, it's a Mustang GT. You can build this car for a lot less than $100,000. If you wanted to make it look just like this, You could buy a $48,000 GT or 50, the basic base model, buy everything that's on the Shelby and save 30,000 bucks, you know? Like so a lot of people, and Lee said this, he goes, if it wasn't for Ford showing me garbage, I would have never opened up my eyes to look at other options. And I went, God damn it, I never thought of it that way. I never thought of the fact, and myself included, I never thought of the fact that a manufacturer can botch a product so bad, and partners like Shelby and RTR and everyone else that shoved shit on this thing can botch a product so bad that it almost forces you to look at other platforms. And everyone seems to be gravitating to, believe it or not, BMW. And I've said this a million times, and I'm going red in the face talking about it, blue in the face talking about it. Ford is causing you, as a Ford fan, if you like their latest and greatest stuff, to look elsewhere. Here you go. Here's a S650 that doesn't go any quicker than the previous generation. Oh, okay, no big deal. I'll just tune it. Yeah, you can't tune it. Okay, fine. I'll buy a Whipple for it. Ah, damn, $12,000. Okay, put a Whipple on it, but I can't put E85 in it. Oh, well, you're stuck on pump gas or octane booster. I don't know if I want to do that. Well, can I put a fuel system in it and maybe 1,000 cc injectors and get it on E85 to have a safer fuel and cheaper race gas, quote unquote, E85? No. So they have now made people buy stuff like E30, which is retarded, like ridiculously retarded. So I thought to myself, there is a market for this car, but it's also going to show the layman, because the people that know the most, this car is not geared towards. The people that are absolutely on it look at this car and they go, I would never buy that piece of shit. One, it's $100,000. Do you know how many awesome cars are out there for $100,000? Awesome cars for $100,000. Hell, these cars are in direct competition with like top end BMW shit. And I would still rather buy a BMW than this thing. 100%. So they've forced your hand. If you want to look at the latest and greatest stuff, you got to look at other stuff. So I thought that was interesting. But the problem is this. There are people that are surrogates for Ford and Shelby and all this that will throw misinformation out there. Namely the people that are saying that this car was going to come with a 429. I was looking at some of the comments on YouTube, on Instagram, and people like, yeah, it has the Megazilla. No, it doesn't. It's got a Coyote in it. And then people like, oh my God, Ford, put out a patent or copyright for the Boss. They only did that so someone else doesn't call something of theirs the Boss. They also did this thing, the Mach E, the letter E. That's why Tesla could not call their vehicle the Model E. They called it the Model 3. Tesla wanted to do the Model S, E, X, and Y, spelling sexy. Well, what Ford did was like, well, we're going to come up with the Mach E. So we're going to trademark, copyright, whatever you want to call it, the nameplate E on a car. And they did so that the Mach E could be actually introduced. If not, they'd be fucked. So the Boss nameplate being trademarked or whatever is not because they're going to shove a 429 in it. Now, I've told you about a year ago, I would not be surprised if Ford dropped something pushrod in a Mustang, because this car is an absolute dud and it needs something to get it going. Again, worst selling generation Mustang in history in its first year. Like the worst sales year ever. So don't get that twisted. It happened. You really think that Ford is going to throw a pushrod V8 in one of these cars? A heavier, taller, less peak horsepower. No, what about a Megazilla? Do you think the Megazilla is emissions compliant? These cars all have to meet emission standards. All of them. They all have to meet a mile per gallon standard as a passenger vehicle, or you pay a gas guzzler tax. Do you want to pay a gas guzzler tax for a Boss Mustang with a Megazilla? And how much, let's say theoretically, Ford does drop a pushrod motor in a car, number one, out to lunch. If they did that, I'd be like, you guys have lost everything. A hybrid should go in a Mustang before a fucking pushrod. Anyway, what the fuck, where was I going with that fucking shit? If they do decide to go, how much is that car going to be? $100,000. $100,000 naturally aspirated 600 horsepower push rod, 10 mile per. Get the fuck out of here. And if they do that, I would not be surprised. And it'll be the death nail of Mustang because they think they're doing you a favor. Ford has shown everybody else what options are out there, and people are going for those options. Ford is forcing your hand, making you look at other options, and people like Cuban and people on the West Coast and people in Houston, they're going, shit, this BMW is not that bad. All-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, manual, M2, M5, G80, M4. Shit. I'm going to roll out with this shit because Mustangs are untunable, and they're creeping up to $70,000, and these special models are six figures. Crazy. We'll talk about it. Talk some shit a little bit on this YDBT Daily. Who is in control here? Obviously, no one is that is into the aftermarket at all. Seriously, BMR over Steeda or UPR, much better QC and better parts all around. But are you fucking psycho, Bender? Are you okay? Bender, I don't know if you're being sarcastic, but the way that's worded, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read your sentence to see how I read it. Seriously, BMR over Steeda or UPR, much better quality and better parts all around. You're saying BMR has better QC than Steeda? Because you didn't put a question mark there. So I don't know. God, that's a good point, Alfredo Diaz. What did Alfredo Diaz say? Hey, Shelby, how about you do us a favor and buy a bunch of Gen 2 Voodoo 5.2 flat plane crank engines, slap new cams, make dual plenum intakes, reworked for the engine, and put S650. Shelby doesn't have that power, Drew. Do you think Shelby makes cars? Do you think Shelby has a production line? Do you think Shelby actually produces vehicles? Shelby puts body parts on cars, bro. Shelby allocates. Shelby third parties shit. Shelby does not build anything. Come on, stop it. John Lucas, exactly. You got nothing to say. I can't wait to see the Motec S650 GT350, said absolutely nobody. Right? How much, John Lucas, come on. How much confidence does that give your customer base? Which you guys are the GT350 people. You know, R1400 packages and this and that. So, what the do you go, I don't know, like, this is what we have to offer our customers? So customers are going to go up to John Lucas because Fat House Fab is known as the GT350 people. So when are you guys going to get your hands on one of those new Shelbys and see what it can really do with the Motec? It's not tunable. Well, just shove a Motec in it. Just shove a Motec in it. You understand that the CAN addresses still have to work. You understand that when you do a plug-and-play Motec on this thing, it still has to communicate with all of the modules so that you can do ghost cam on the steering wheel. So you can assign the fucking window button to be your traction control button. You really think Motec is up to snuff on the S650 stuff? Not even close. No, I'm saying Steeda has better and UPR has better QC than Bender. All pots around. My bad. I need an aspirin. Yeah, because I was looking at your comment and it looks like you were saying BMR over that stuff. BMR is not something I would ever recommend to anyone. So if you have BMR parts on your car, nothing wrong with that. I just wouldn't recommend those parts. Jessica, I'm sure Ford and Shelby hate this show, educating the masses. So Jessica Bessica, first of all, ASL. And are you single? Because the chat wants to know. Let's be honest. You're a girl, so you're here. You're gonna get your feet into the fire. I don't know that they hate the show, but you got to understand, were you guys aware? Okay, do me a favor. Put on the chat what this know enlightened you on. Remember when Stang Mode was telling you that the Ford GT was going to have a Godzilla in it? I remember. Remember 2 or 3 days ago, he puts out a video saying the boss is going to have a Godzilla in it? I remember. So again, unless there are actual test mules out there, S650s with a push rod in it, out of all things, and again, I would not put it past Ford. At this point of the game, Ford needs something, and it is a sinking ship, and they got to do whatever, the Mustang, and they got to do whatever to get this thing to be viable. because when it comes to the news cycle, it's I got something in. I was eating almonds and it's got that skin, and it's just bothering the ever living shit out of me. Anyway, the misinformation that's out there is unbelievable, and a lot of you guys, hook, line, and sinker. But what has this show taught you, or at least enlightened you on, that you didn't know before? Let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Here we go. Cornfed Cow, Donnie Fun, thank you so much. Make sure I didn't miss another super chat. Yes, another super chat. Channel support, Unk says Brooklyn guy. And we got more Pews More Boo says Shelby should have married his college boyfriend. And that wouldn't have, there it is. I got it, you motherfucker. Something in there. If Shelby would have married his college boyfriend, I don't know why he didn't, it would have been a different ending to this.
Man, every time I see my signature on shit like suitcases and cereal boxes and chili, it makes me think, why didn't I marry my college boyfriend?
It cuts off there.
College boyfriend.
Hey, a college boyfriend.
A college boy.
Fuck, I love making those. Today I made a bunch and they were great. Oh man, unbelievable. Let me see. No longer another parts bin car. Another parts bin car. Even Justin Dugan made a great point on Facebook today. Justin Dugan made a point that in 2010, Shelby did this. Remember, there was no Shelby anything in 2010. And they pumped out a GT, then, a GT. And then if you go on Justin Dugan's Facebook, he actually posts, he goes 2010 all over again. And that's a great point. I never thought about it. In 2010, they offered you this. Shelby actually said, hey, buy some of this. And do you know to this day, people ship their cars to Shelby to Shelby-ize them? Have you heard such thing where they put a wide body kit on it just so they can have the Shelby shine? Do you know how embarrassing it is for people that actually know about these cars to see a Shelby logo on something that didn't have anything? Shelbys to us have to have a different motor than it came with from the factory. A Shelby is a Mustang. Sorry, guys. So if it came with a 5-liter on a GT, and that is the same 5-liter on a Shelby, I'm going to say that's a fucking GT. The GT 500 came with a 5.8, the 1314. The GT 350 2016 to 2020 came with a 5.2. In 2020, the GT 500 came with a 5.2 cross-plane supercharged power plant with a DCT. This is a GT with a body kit. This is ridiculous. Neighbor had a Shelby GT. Okay. Anyone else think the Farley is intentionally trying to tank the Mustang? This has nothing to do with Farley. This is Shelby. Shelby bought GTs, and even in their brochure or their announcement, it states vehicle starts off as a GT. Let me see if I could find it back on Facebook. So I want to show you. It says vehicle actually starts off as a 300A package Mustang GT. So they admit that this is a GT. They don't even try to hide the fact that it's a GT. Let me see where I can find the fine print. Did you see the price on the Super Snake, Justin? No. Let me see if it's on mine. It could be on mine. Let me see. Alejandro Flores. 51 comments on there. Okay, so it's pretty good. I don't check Facebook. I just post and ghost. No, I don't see it. But someone actually posted a photo of the fact that all comments that said this vehicle starts as a 300A package GT. Wow, there's a lot of comments on YouTube on that. So I'm blown away that half of you thought this was like a special, not half of you, a lot of you thought this was like a special model. Oh, does this have a 429? No. Oh, does it have a GT500 engine? No. It's a GT motor and the other one has a Whipple on it. Good luck if you go on a road course for 2 or 3 laps, and we'll see what the rotors are going to do. They're going to go, hey, how you doing, buddy? Nice to meet you. If it's still not tunable, then there is no point to buy one. Theo, understand this, even though through the Ford releases the new Mustangs with a different motor. Theo, understand this, even though Ford released new Mustangs with different motors like a 7.3 or something, if it's still not tunable, then there's no fucking point to buy one. Let's go into the theoretical machine. Ford comes out with a Megazilla. Megazilla. 600 naturally aspirated horsepower. Tremec 3160 or a MT82. Ugh. And then you can't tune it. You want to go faster? I shove a cam in it. The heads, port the heads, different manifold. Can't tune it. It has the remote vehicle, whatever, the ability to phone home software, and they have made it not tunable because of that. And it has been 1 year. We're on the clock. 1 full freaking year where this car has come out and not a hint of tuning. They drew the file. They could see the file. But when you try to shove a edited version of the file back in the car, it just doesn't take. That's what the company is saying anyway. Deuce Machina, when you go buy a Shelby in America website and build on a Super Snake, it does say it starts as a performance package GT. Do we need more V8 options? Is there any difference between the Code Red and the Shelby 350? What? Of course. The Code Red starts its life as a GT500. The Code Red starts its life as a GT500. Can't be bad at Shelby. They just know they can make money off of the schmucks. And again, guys, all of the cars will sell. And again, this guy who buys this car, buys it, shows up the Cars and Coffee, and you're going to go, that's a nice looking car. Sir, that is a nice looking car. But then in your heart of hearts, when you and I don't make the kind of money that disposable income motherfuckers that'll just buy it for the clout have, you're going to go, it's a fucking GT. It's different when it's a actual performance-based vehicle. And a GT turned into a Super Snake or a 350 or a whatever, there's nothing special about that. There's nothing Shelby can do that I can't currently in the market, and I can do it for a lot cheaper. I'm TD2 Trans 2. I saw the Gen 4 5.0 in it, and it reminds me of the previous Shelby Super Snake on the Gen 3. Correct. The Gen 3 had the same exact thing. There is no Super Snake. The Super Snake stopped being super in okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a 2020 Super Snake? Because the Code Reds are like the super duper snake, like 8-second cars built by Fat House. But I'm not a fan of those cars. Like I look at those cars and I'm like, and supposedly they're not street legal because of the turbo stuff. So it's like, okay, cool, but like, and I'm sure you can register it in one of those crazy loopholes like in Utah. Now that Bobby Trump's here, you could probably do whatever the fuck you want. But I think if you're gonna buy a car that at that capacity, you should buy a Fat House GT350. John Lucas, the EPA and Ford is basically made doing anything cutting edge nearly impossible as far as power. Power adders. Get used to it, as this is the only approved power adder that anyone can install and sell. Roush also. Roush, you can get their twin inlet supercharger, run 9s in the quarter mile. People have done it. Like they're on the same playing field. Whipple, I think, is doing special stuff to special people just to show what their cars can do. Roush might be guy like, we're not going to do that because, let's be honest, the vast majority of people that do buy these superchargers, they're not going to want to go 8s in it. They're going to want to go 9s or low 10s on pump gas and octane booster, not get all the way after it to run 8. I actually sat through a Larry Chen video. The folks at Shelby said the track version would have had a carbon tub. Who finna pay for that? Where are you from? 2020 is just a Gen 3 Coyote. Oh my lord. The 2020 Super Snake is a Gen 3 Coyote. It's not a... The last Super Snake was 2014. Like, badass motor. Whipple 4.5. MS1, you have to run it at MS109. Then they had the Shelby 1000. Those days are gone. The days of Shelby 1000, super duper snakes and all this stuff, it's over because now you're getting badged up GTs that cost $100,000. It's embarrassing. Like imagine Camaro started doing that, how much flack they would get. So imagine Camaro comes out with a SS, not even a ZL1, an SS, and then they put a Lingenfelter blower on it, which is probably a Magnuson, and then they sell it as a Yenko Camaro. Actually, don't they do that? I might be wrong. Didn't someone start selling Yenko-styled Camaros, but it's basically a freaking SS with a blower on it? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know much about the Chevy side of thing. I remember the one in the Throttle House video that broke in half. Mustang in stock form isn't any more exciting than any of the V8 sports cars. The aftermarket is the only reason the Mustang became as popular as it is. Without tuning, it's a dead car. So imagine for a second, do you think there are discussions, John Lucas, without giving me a positive or negative, but give me something on the vague side. Have you heard of any rumblings in the aftermarket that makes you believe that Ford is a little worried that the Mustang didn't sell well and that tuning had something to do with it? Because not that I'm some kind of like, look, I'm the only one saying this stuff in a very in-your-face way. Because have you seen the latest Trump press conferences? The dude doesn't stop working. The dude had like 7 press conferences in a day. He was a Davos. Forget it. Let me not get off kilter. Competence is so nice. So when you see someone like me giving you straight hard facts, why people buy the Mustang, the reason people buy the Mustang, the sales figures, half of them are EcoBoost rental cars, the other half are GTs, and out of those GTs, 75% of the GTs are probably tuned by Lund. Every year, year over year. Even though there's like 10 Coyote tuners, 75% of the Mustang GTs sold in the United States that are tuned by Lund. So I see what happens in the ticket system. I see what people do. I see the trajectory. I see the lineage. I see exactly what the popular mods are, what people are buying the car for, the case use. I know what's happening. So when I have an opinion, it comes from a place of authority because I see it every day and I can disseminate the information to the dum-dums. But a lot of people go, oh, you're just a fucking hater. Really? I tune for 8 hours a day. 8 hours a day. I see the ticket system I see the wave for a long time. I worked when 11 to 14s were popping. 15 to 17 weren't popping that much. Then 15 to 17 was popping. Then the 18 came out. What did people do? They went back to the Gen 1. And I went, wait a minute. Since the 2018 Mustang came out, did people go back to the 11 to 14? Price. 11 to 14, once a third generation Coyote Mustang came out, lowered in price into the 20,000 range. And then people could still finance them. And I was like, son of a bitch. So then the Gen 1s became popular again. Then the Gen 3s started doing good with the 10R80 stuff. Then people started going, uh-oh, 10R80 is a problem. They went back to the Gen 2. They went back to the Gen 2 and the Gen 2 started getting more and more popular. To this day, the Gen 2 is still popping and I see crazy spikes in Gen 2 sales. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is that people are spiking back to the Gen 2? The Gen 3 manual isn't great. The Gen 3 10R80 is good until it's not. Hell, I got a customer right now mad at me because I wouldn't adjust his car. And I'm like, dude, it's a 10R80. If it runs good in drive, run good in drive. If it doesn't run good in drive and in sport, it jacked up, I can't do anything. Try a trans relearn. I could revert everything back to stock. And I think we've tried that and the car still runs like shit. So I'm like, dude, it's the transmission. I owned one of these. So I see the ups and downs, the peaks and valleys of the sales based on what's happening with the new cars in the market. Now that the S650 is absolutely untunable, Gen 3 Mustang sales are in a straight line up. And you're starting to see prices get a little wonky. I'm like, uh-oh. It went from a $28,000 vehicle, the Gen 3, back up to a $34,000, $35,000 vehicle, not inflation related. And good luck getting a loan on an 18, 19, 20 under 7%. Impossible. But people are still buying them because you can tune them today. So Mach 1s are still being sold. Bullets are being sold. GTs are being sold. Gen 2 is spiking. 24 Mustang is opening people's eyes and letting them see what other options they got out there. And they're opting for those options because they can tune those options. Alex, you have a lady in the house. Please, please do not play the Diddy clip and scare her away. Whoa. Don't tell me what to do. Because Gen 2 is probably more bang for the buck, more affordable, and still makes more power. Cobra says, for me, the oh shit, the chat wasn't popping up. Here we go. Here we go. For me, the Mustang, especially because it was a car that started my enthusiast passion. My dad, here we go. What did we at the gas station? Jesus, because of you, totally honest, Big Daddy MTD2 brought all the fucking way. Is it safe to say that all Whipple equipped Mustangs being sold are on the exact same Whipple tune, Ford Performance Dealer upgrades versus RTR? Yes, rockin' S650. It's one tune, but they have to like export it to a serial. So let's say, for instance, you're at Whipple and you're like on the customer service end of things, and VIN number 1FAPB blah 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 ending in 3406 is a stage 1 Whipple kit. Well, here you go. So that is a stock throttle body calibration. Wait a minute. Is it? No, they have like I don't know. But it's scaled to see maybe 1718 load, maybe 2.0. But you and I both know that tune, if you pulley it to death, shove all the cans of pump gas in it, it will not see 20 degrees of spark advance at 0.68 lambda. And if they do, they are psychotic. If it's seeing 0.68 lambda, 20 degrees on regular pump gas, you are living dangerously, my friend, without octane booster. Fear God says, the S650 GT350 was the real deal. It had a bespoke 5.2 flat plane, as well as a Tremec manual gearbox. The Tremec 3160 in the GT350 was worse than the MT82. It just didn't hold the power. Easy deal. It's more better in terms of build quality, no DI bullshit to speak of, and reliable and trustworthy. 6R80, better than MT82, shorter gear race, better MT82 with shorter gear ratios. You have access to the TVS blowers. Right. So this is the crazy thing. People want choice. People want options. You don't go to an ice cream shop and they have 2 flavors. They have 80. So when you see a Gen 6 Coyote, Gen 4 Coyote S650, you're going to go, okay, I can have a Roush or Whipple. Cool. 2. Then you go 1 year down, 23, and you can get an ESS kit, a Vortec, a Paxton, Aldo, Hellion, On 3, Armageddon, Odin, Roush, Whipple, like whatever the hell you want. So you're giving people less options and you're wondering why your car's not selling? Come on, stop it. So is first gen Coyote going to retain value, or do you foresee Gen 2 taking that spot? So I was looking at the car the other day. I was out there, I am in fuel system hell right now. So I'm just buying all the AN shit on the planet because I am configuring the fuel system for the Magnuson equipped GT500, the twin inlet version. So I'm just waiting for parts to show up. It looks retro. When you look at a 13, 14, or 11 to 14, you look at it, it looks retro. Everyone looks at that car and goes, undeniably a Mustang. Undeniably a Mustang, right? If you're far away and you see the headlights and maybe the fog lights, you go, that's a Mustang. When you see a Mustang far away, especially in a 650, you go, Honda Accord? Passat? Like, oh, it's a S650. Because every car nowadays looks the same in the front. I saw a Buick crossover SUV, and I thought it was a fucking Lamborghini Urus. Now, is that a Urus? Oh my God, it's a Buick. They mimicked the headlights of a Urus on a Buick SUV and a Hyundai SUV. And I went, so when I'm looking at the Gen 1 Mustang, Coyote Mustang, I go, that's undeniably a Mustang. You just look at it, it looks retro, it looks like a 60s Mustang. That's undeniably a Mustang. And the more I look at the car, don't get me wrong, I own both of them. I would still love a Gen 2. I love Gen 2s. They're gorgeous. And I love a 350. I think they're gorgeous. But when I look at a Gen 1 Coyote Mustang, 13, 14 version, it's pretty badass. It's not the tuning. BMW had great sales. It's not the tuning. BMW had great sales. It's not the tuning. BMW. Okay, maybe he's just being funny. Again, sarcasm and text does not translate well. At least the SVE Yanko cars gave you built 427s that can be tuned. I find it funny that the S650 had a worse sales year than the Mustang 2. Until now, that was by far the worst selling Mustang they have ever seen. Oh, but Alex, you can cold rev the S650 with your key, bro. Theo, how much boost do I need to run to have 1,000 horsepower? Depends on your power adder. Could be twin turbos is different than a TVS, than a Whipple, than a single turbo. Many, and turbo size, too many variables. Muffler. People who say the Tremec is better have never experienced a clutch explosion on 350. I still love to this day when people say, 350's got a Tremec, it's a better car. No, it don't. You don't got a better fucking transmission than an MT82. See, you guys have been fed the foreign bullshit of MT82s. And that was mostly a clutch issue. And then when you actually deconstruct a Tremec 3160, you go, this is a ticking time bomb. And I have physically seen clutches explode, take out the bell housing and the motor. Chunks of the motor. I've experienced what happens when you have crazy driveline vibrations. And the 350 having a flat plate. Guys, get in a 350. Get in a 350. It shakes at idle. It's not a smooth idling car. It goes, it's buzzy. Please don't tell me you think it's smooth. The GT350 is buzzy at idle. You don't think those harmonics transfer all the way down the driveline? You know what I've seen a lot on GT350 3160 transmissions? And maybe John Lucas, he won't say because he sells those, he builds those cars. So I can't, he's not going to be like, yeah. Go look at where the bolts bolt up to the block. There are spider cracks, usually, on the bolts that bolt onto the motor on the 3160. Why? Vibration. This thing has just bad harmonics. The flat plane crank isn't awesome because it's flat plane. It just allows a lot of crazy revs, weird firing order, weird sounds, and harmonics issue. Stop it. Gravity pass, is the T56 solid? Depends on which one. So there's a T56 in the Cobra with a 10 spline input shaft. Do you think that's solid? So you have to be very specific. There are many versions of the T56. There's a T56 Cobra, T56 Magnum XL. There's a bunch of different ones. You guys see the video before they put an S650 manifold, the dual throttle by the S550? So a lot of people wanted me to comment on that. And this is the reason I don't comment on it. I can't see the data logs. So I just go logical, right? Let's just go logic. The Gen 4 Coyote, how much horsepower does it make? Go. Put on the chat how much power a Gen 4 Coyote makes. And then how much power a Gen 3 Coyote makes. And then you're going to go, wait a minute, it's like a 15 horse difference. Right. So how much horsepower do you think I'm going to gain by putting a 24 Mustang manifold with dual throttle bodies with a map sensor? Then you probably have to use a Roush tune or an F-150 weird thing to get it in there. And how much power do you think you're going to gain from a 800, 900, maybe more? I don't know how much it is to integrate a map sensor into things. So you're like, and then these are the NA homos would say, well, and then where are you sucking the air from? The engine bay? Then you have to buy 2 cold airs, put them off to the side. Hopefully you have room. And you're like, wait a minute, I just built a slightly less powerful. Now, the plus side is you can E85 it, you can do this and this and that. I don't think a dual throttle body, dual intake car would make more power than a Cobra jet. But it's an option. It's at least an option. But since I can't see the data logs, I can't speak on it. I can just theorize how much more am I going to gain apples to apples. I'm gonna probably make exactly what a Gen 4 Mustang makes. And if it's like 15 horse, I'm like, is it worth the meat on the bone or just get a Cobra jet? 430, 400, 480, 460, 430 tire, about 300. I didn't even click on that dual throttle, but me neither. I didn't buy. It's like, what are you going to do? 420 to the wheels. Facts, Nardi is Mach 1 manual transmission takes boost better than an MT82 GT Ollie. The Mach 1 transmission is the same transmission as the GT350. The Dark Horse has the same transmission as the 350 in the Mach 1, the Tremec 3160. Bro, the Shelby 350 just dropped, and it looks like dog shit. Hit live on your shit. John says, 486 max, 500 to the crank in the Dark Horse, not much more than the Gen 3 stock. No way did Ford label the Foxbody a 5.0 when it was really a 4.9. Yeah, nobody refutes that. Like, nobody gets salty about that. By the way, he was spot on when he said Gen 4 intake wouldn't flow any better than a Cobra jet. That's what someone else did on their video as well. Why do you guys think that when not you guys specifically, all you have to do is critical thinking and logical thinking. Just sit back and think. If I have a ported 18 manifold with one throttle body and a PMAS cold air intake, and the packaging is great, and then I shove two throttle bodies in it with a 24 intake manifold, put a map sensor in it, tune it to death, the restriction is probably not going to be the throttle bodies and the intake. The restriction, meaning the motor can only suck in what the motor can suck in. So if you put a Cobra jet on it, if you put 3 Cobra jets on it, stack them in series, the motor is going to flow what the motor is going to flow. It is a air pump. What you have to do to make a motor make more power is you have to make the air pump more efficient. So how do you do that? Well, you change the cam events by putting a higher lift, longer duration camshaft in there, and you find the sweet spot with VCT, and maybe you port the cylinder head, or maybe you make the displacement bigger underneath the cylinder head. The air pump has to get better before you see a huge difference in intakes. So now let's just say you have a crazy, stupid efficient air pump, and then you have a restrictive manifold from the factory. Ford generally doesn't do that. Ford generally matches everything to flow within a certain amount because it has great efficiency. That's how you get great mile per gallon. That's how you get great performance. That's how you get everything. So I just thought, wait a minute. If I shove a Cobra jet in a 2018 and up Mustang with a monoblade and a PMAS on pump gas or E85, it's not going to make any more than a, let's say, ported version of the stock manifold with a stock throttle body. Unless you make the air pump underneath it more efficient by mechanically changing things. So this is like very basic 101 things. Now, today was one of those days that I had to remind myself that not everybody has that way of thinking. I'll give you an example. 3 or 4 people today hit me up and they said, hey, so I opened my hood, the car was running, I haven't catch can venting to atmosphere, it's smoking. Is that okay? Is that normal? So then I said, what temperature is it outside? Oh, it's 30 degrees out today. Sir, that can is venting from the crankcase, which is under a couple of cylinder heads, pistons, and crank, combusting fire. And we are venting it to atmosphere. Let me ask you a question. Your body's 90-something degrees, right? Go like this at 30-degree weather. Is something wrong? Well, your body's 90 degrees. Blow out. Oh, shit, something's fucked up. No. So I had to do that today. I had to do that today multiple times. Not in a shitty manner. I was like, well, sir, because the combustion is... I'm telling you, not everyone thinks like highly mechanically inclined people. A lot of people are in the fucking weeds when it comes to these cars, and they rely on the tuner for absolutely everything. Bro, it's combusting. There's fire happening. What are you going to do? No shit, Pegalos, but you're the MT82 ambassador. What did Pegalos say? What's Pegalos? 2011 to 17 MT82 is greater than 2018. Absolutely. The previous generation 11 to 17 MT82 gear ratios are so tight. It just... You do a D4. I'm like, what the fuck? 11 to 17. Come on. My shit smoked out the catch can at idle since I put the motor. No big deal. Oh man, Turvey's here? Jesus Christ. I hope Turvey's not here. Ryan Espinoza. The video basically just showed that the Gen 4 intake manifold has less restriction compared to a Gen 3 manifold. It only made a difference revving to 8,000 RPMs. Gained 40 at 8, but peak was equal. So what does that mean? The cams, kind of, it probably rolled off less. You know what I mean? If it's going straight up, when I see a graph going straight up, I go, oh, it's still got minute. But when it's rolling and people stay in it, I go, what are you doing? What's the purpose of this? Especially on a manual car. Whatever. Alex, job at Lund is basically trying not to hurt a customer's feelings. You know what? A lot of you guys want to get into this industry, I highly discourage it. Because you are not tuning. You're not doing exciting things. This isn't a whole party. It is work. It is a lot of work. Think about this, right? You think you're going to be around race cars all the time? No. You think you're going to drive one of these race cars all the time and become some kind of like race car driver and have a career? No. What you're going to do is you're going to talk to regular guys that don't know much about Mustangs, and you're going to literally walk them through the process of everything. And then one of them is going to say this, what do you think's the best wheel for my car? And then this is what I simply say, that is beyond the tuning scope. Right? That is beyond the tuning scope. Most customers get a 17 by 10 with a sticky tire. Very generic information, not to get into the weeds, because I don't want it to become a conversation about anything else but tuning. So many times, if you guys are my customer, right, you see my name now. If you were to say a question that has nothing to do with tuning, and I say, let me know when a log is uploaded, that basically is a nice way of me saying, I'm not going to talk about anything but tuning, because my job is tuning. Dylan Kumar, I was about to order BMR stop the hop for my Gurn 3. Are you saying Steed's kit is overall better? Yes. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. Oh, Stang Mode's Resonator Deleter is here. Well, it's nice to see you, a Stang Mode's Resonator Deleter. I haven't seen you in a while.
MDRP Resonator Deleter.
Says, I'm surprised you haven't gone off of the customer via email. I've almost have gone off on customers on email, but this is the thing. The power of screenshotting and then posting it anywhere, you could screenshot something out of context, I've learned. So what I do is, I have a sign right on top of my desk, says don't give them ammo. Don't give them ammo. So when I look up, I'm like, don't give them ammo. Because there are people ready to trounce at the fact that Lund did something not so favorable. So they'll just go, and then you don't have to defend it, but then you have to see it, and you're like, whatever, just another disgruntled asshole. Nothing wrong with that. Again, I have had the amount of times I have seen customers come back, like let's say they have an RTD, not an LRX, RTD, now SCT, not an N-Gage, because N-Gage is Lund only. So N-Gage and Lund locked, N-Gage and LRX locked to Lund, but let's say they have an RTD. Do this, adjust this, then they go dark. They go dark. Not like, anyway, they come back. Hey man, I tried blah, blah, blah's tune and your shit is way smoother. And I don't trip. Every other tuner out there is actually selling Lund tunes. Some are. Not necessarily selling Lund tunes, but their tunes are so bad. Their replies are so late. Their general demeanor is so bad that they're like, man, Lund gets after me like ASAP. Today, I tuned a ESS car, 2 revisions. It was done. It was perfect. A Whipple car, 2 revisions done. 18 F-150 with an 18 manifold. Here's 1 revision for higher shifts, and then here's the E85 dedicated tune. Get me logs when you can. And then I'm just like, boom, and they're like, bro, I ordered the tune yesterday. I go, I know. Because, it's kind of slow. Everything's cold right now. Not a lot of people are racing. But, man, you can get tuned with a 600 to 700. Let's say you start off on E85. Let's say tonight you're like, I finished installing my Whipple or Odin or TVS car or twin turbo car with 1050Xs, Hellion kit, fuel system, E85. I'm going to start on E85. In 3 or 4 revisions, you're done and you're off ready to go racing. And if you get me logs quickly, it's 1 day. 1 day. People usually drop off their car at a guy that does logging for them, like Valley 10-speed or some other shop that maybe built the car. We get that shit dialed. If they get us logs fast and I get them revisions, they're done. Other places, you order a tune, 2 weeks later you get a tune, then you never hear from them again. They got your money, they sent you a product, can't refund. Crazy stuff. Alex, how can I sell Lund tune? Says Nito Diaz. Nito, did I meet you one time in Houston? With the other cat in Houston, the guy that works at Home Depot? I thought I met him. He had like a Kona blue car. Turvy, think about the size of Ford's research. Do we have to fucking talk about Turvy? Turvy, give me your sister's number, bro. She's out there posting some nice stuff. Predator GT500 says, I wanted to be an auto mechanic when I was a kid. Got the fuck out of working on Sunfires and Astrovans in 6 months in. Joined building trade instead, better money. Jessica says, thank you, Nardi. Oh, here we go. She's getting hit on. Alex, I got a nerd question for you. How fast can a twin independent variable cam timing adjustable camshaft start to finish from the data logs? How fast can TiVCT adjust a camshaft from start to finish? Like tenths of a second. Like really fast. Like really, really, really fast. Not there's no like latency data log. Maybe there is. Junior might have access to that. Just say it, Mondo. Out of context is calling Elon a Nazi. Exactly. My wife screenshots my Instagram. Girl likes all the time. Listen to Alex. BMR's, according to Slow Gen 2, says, listen, Alex, BMR's trash. Got to see to stop the hop kit, hooks, and books. Alex, what would you like to see from Ford Shelby for a perfect Mustang? Horsepower, torque numbers, pricing, chassis or motor changes, etc. What is the ideal future for them? See, the problem is this. Ford is not willing to do what the racer wants. Let's talk about that. Ford has to sell product for the masses, not for the racer. If 42,000 Mustangs sold, 21,000 were EcoBoost Mustangs. Out of those 21,000 EcoBoost Mustangs, 17,000 or 15,000 went to rental car fleet vehicles. Hertz, Avis, fleet vehicles. Worldwide. Well, let's talk US. Let's keep it US. Right? Fleet. And then the other 1,000 were gay guys that want a Mustang body with, sipping on gas performance. And the other half of GTs were non-tunable cars that people generally want to buy, or let's say out of the other half of the GT sold, I would say 80% of the people left it stock. Put a nice set of wheels, exhaust, meaning no mods. Obviously, tuning can't happen. And the other maybe 800 got Whipple kits. Okay, cool. So you can only do a Whipple kit or a Roush kit. So let's just say 800 to 1200 maybe did blower stuff total. So the masses are not going to want a gutted Mustang for $42,000, right? Alejandro Flores wants Ford to do what Dodge did with the Challenger. Dodge gave you a 1320 edition. Okay, Dodge gave you the Eco one, right? They gave you the GT, which is the 6-cylinder. Then they gave you the Scat Pack, which is shit. Then they gave you the Hellcat narrow body. Then they gave you the wide body Red Eye. They also gave you, I think, the Scat wide body. Then they gave you the Demon. Okay, so now there are 4 versions of the Challenger. A GT base shit EcoBoost. A 1320 edition drag racing oriented car, right? Then you have a supercharged version that is narrow body, a wide body version, then the Demon 170 King Dingaling $100,000+ car. That's what I want Ford to do. Super stock, thank you. That's what I want Ford to do. Ford needs to mimic, because then you say, why don't you do pre-sales? Look at what Elon Musk does. Elon Musk funded a lot of his stuff with pre-sales. So let's say Ford tomorrow opens up the ordering banks and goes, take my ass, Elon Musk, and say, we are bringing out performance variants. And based on the pre-sales, we'll determine fully refundable. Fully refundable, if you don't meet a certain pre-order amount, fully refundable. Tunable, configured for drag racing, the other one configured for road racing. What does that mean? Very light, One has a favorable gear ratio for drag racing. The other one has a favorable suspension package for road racing, but very light, minimal shit, base. And keep the price commensurate with what the intent is for. So you have a drag race car, road race car, then you have a pretty nice, 401A, the Shaker 1000, and then you'll see which ones sell the most. Because in Puerto Rico, I laugh. Puerto Ricans are kooky. They think a performance package, fully loaded Mustang is a better race car platform to start with. I go, no, that's a 4,000-pound car. But they go, pero no entiendo, dice performance pack. Yo no entiendo, papi. Aquí dice performance pack. Porque yo voy a comprar un base Mustang. Yo quiero comprar un performance pack. In Puerto Rico, what they import is like top dog shit. Leather, big screen, big Brembo brakes, big stupid wheels. And then the customer wants to go drag racing. I go, that's a 4,000-pound car. And then in Houston, you can find a 3.0 whatever the hell package, cloth seats, barely seats, no foam in the seats, the tiniest screen on the planet with dials for some reason, right? Base brakes, base everything, and that thing weighs 250 less pounds. That's the one you want to build to go racing in. They made the GTD. Exactly. Ford's like, hey, let's bring the Mustang. You know what? We're going to revolutionize the Mustang nameplate. Watch this. GTD, $300,000. Mach E, it's a Mustang. SUV. A GT, $48,000 and $50,000 for a base model, untunable. A Dark Horse, 430 rear-wheel horsepower Dark Horse. Think about that, Ford. You're offering people performance for the higher tier version, the Dark Horse, that stock 23 and under GTs were making in to the rear wheel. Performance is lacking. Well, Alex, the Dark Horse stops and turns better than the GT because of the fucking tires. Shove those tires on a GT350. Shove those tires on a 350 or 350R. You don't think that bitch is gonna perform? Stop. Alex, Turvey emailed you his sister's number. Get out of here. What the fuck? Lies. Turvey, Sue's number. Bryson, wait. Hell yeah, exactly. Do it, Turvey. Did you email it to her? You didn't email me shit. Let me see. I will text her right now. Why is this old man hitting me up? Why is there an old man? Why is an old man texting me, Turv? Yeah, no, he didn't do anything. He's just full of shit. He didn't email nothing. I'm going to sell my Shelby and buy a Honda Odyssey. I wonder how long it'll take you to get a response. Get to texting. You didn't send me anything, bro. You didn't send me shit. Unless you're on spam. Let me see if you're on spam. No, you're not. What is this? No, nothing. No, he didn't send me no email. He's just fucking with you guys. Can you believe anything Turvey says? Have you seen where do you remember his car build? Ford needs to go back to the 80s and give us an LX. Bro, again, I am now looking. Alex Bryson lied. Gotcha. I am looking at other platforms because of that. Actually, I'm looking at older cars. I was talking to Jake today. One of the guys in the chat on Patreon, shout out to him. He showed me a Notch that's for sale up in Pennsylvania. And I'm like, oof, bro. Again, remember, guys, I spent $30,000 on the roll cage. Think about that. This is what I'll never do again, is build a car from scratch. But I'm learning. I spent $30,000. The Fairmont still looks like a Fairmont. And this motherfucker is being sold for $14,500 in Chipotle, Pennsylvania, okay? 86 Mustang Coupe roller. Car is mint condition. Just waiting for the drivetrain of your choice. Car was just mini tub with a Fab 9 rear, strange 35 flat axles, 370 gears with a true track position unit, QA1 coilover, shocks, racecraft upper and lower, badass. Anti-roll bar, Team Z upper and lower adjustable torque boxes. Car has title. Right. Look at that. $14,000. Look at the underneath. Clean off. You can eat off the bitch. Look at this. And I spent $30,000. And this thing is going for half. Look at the interior, Turvey. Look, you know how many, Jesus Christ. You know how many pancakes you got to flip, Turvy, to get that? Bro, I spent 30 grand. My Fairmont will never look this good. Bro. So hit him up. Pending. Look at that. It's almost gone, Papa. That shit wasn't going to last. That was too good to be true. Shout out. Again, do not ever build a car from scratch. Do not rotisserie your car. Get it from someone else's shit like him. Fuck all that. Alex, you need a 350. See, a lot of you guys think that I'm going to get into a 350. What am I going to do with a 350? First of all, it's got to be a Gen 2. The Gen 2, meaning 1920, the Gen 2 motor, they're going for $55,000. Guys, they're $50,000. Let's do my favorite thing. This is usually the time of the show where we start looking at cars. Cars.com. Oh, they'll go to bring a trailer. Same shit. Used Ford. Come on, let's do it. It's $50,000. This is crazy. Ford. I could get it, but man, come on, man. It's Mustang. It'll say Shelby. We already did this, I think. Shelby 350, all miles. Okay, let's go 19 to 20. Minimum price, oldest, 19, 20. 37,000 miles, $60,000. 10,000 miles, $72,000. 27,000 miles, $57,000. 8,000 miles, $63,000. 62, 62, 62, 59, 59, 65, 69, 59, 89, 52, 69, 61, 55 with 46,000 miles, 79, 71, 70. Guys, please, it's over. That market has jumped out of my price range. It's over. I gotta start looking at jalopies again before they get out of, before some crazy guy at Mecum Auto Auction fucks it up for everybody, pays $109,000 for a Cobra, and people all think, oh, I can jack up the price of my car $20,000. Just Shannon Dugan says, Mustangs are cool, but something about Fairmonts, Capris, Zephyrs, Durangos are cooler. I get it. What am I going to do with a 350? Be gay. Comp Cam Stage 3, CJ, and 456s. Comp Cam Stage 3. Why would I put cams in a 350? The cams are already badass. Bro, you know what they should do with the Godzilla? Like in a... Shut the fuck up. I lost all respect for Dodge when I was told my ZF 8-speed had lifetime fluid and was not serviceable with no drain plug. The 6R80 does not have a drain plug. Rocket S650. The 6R80 doesn't have a drain plug. Gotta drop the pan. Just get it all over the place. How much did you pay for a 13 Boss 202 with 7,000 miles steel, white, black, non-Laguna Seca? You could probably ask 35, 36 for that car. Maybe more. Jessica, have you seen his videos? Jessica's out here. Are you really putting a Coyote in a Corvette? Is that possible? Jessica, honey, this is what you need to do. First of all, you got to show me a full body photo, top to bottom. Okay? YDBT for life at gmail.com. What you're going to do is this. You're going to take a picture in front of a mirror right now, top to bottom, and then you do a front profile, side profile, because I got to see what's going on in the cooling. You send it to me at ydbtforlife at gmail.com. Based on what I get, I will then give you very detailed, information on the ZR1. Okay, so that's what you got to do. You got to show me a full body photo, front, then side, ydbtforlife at gmail.com, and then we can talk. Everyone's like, bro, scaring the host. What you guys gonna do? What if she's down? You guys don't know. You don't know until you ask, bro. Look, Trump's in town, bro. Trump's in town. It's all good. Fuck, he's asking 40. I knew it was too much. Alex wants a silver and red 2012 Boss 302. Yeah, absolutely. Begalow's dog gotta be, bro, scaring the hose. ydbtforlife@gmail.com. I love it. Theo's a savage, bro. We gotta see the deets. It's cool, guys. Go ahead and be guys. No problem. But I live on the West Coast. Girl, ain't no problem. I can get an airplane over. Look, I've done worse for Toto. You understand? See, that means she's open to, so that doesn't mean you can't email shit. You know what I'm saying? Fuck, get her flued out on a Spirit. How much is Spirit Airlines from the West Coast to here? Probably cheap. I was waiting for this to happen. Shannon, you're so wrong. Breakdown. I always got to be careful when the close pictures. Yeah. If you got a picture from here up, sus. We got to see the whole thing. Live, YDBT, Daily, Tinder, Alex goes creeper mode. No, we don't go creeper mode. We get right to the point because we're all wondering. There's one chick on the chat. All y'all motherfuckers are wondering the same thing I'm wondering. I'm just willing to let y'all know what's up. You're scaring the hoes. They're here. Come on, stop it. Steve, Tío Stoting Fun. This is to take Jessica on a date. Steve Marrero sending the kid $100 so that when I flew out Jessica and get her to Utiki, show her the intercoastal and give the side move, bro, she ain't going nowhere. Alex needs a full body scan before proceeding with car knowledge to females. Yeah, look, let's be honest. I'm not going to sit here and talk car shit with a girl. You really think I'm going to sit here and talk, oh, Alex, girls don't. No, they don't. Sorry. You think I want to talk car shit with my girl? You think no. What that mouth do? Car shit. I talk car shit with my boys. Car shit with my girl. Girl, flew it out. Put her on the Peasant Chat episode Sunday. Put those pics up on a poll. Homie says, Spirit. Alex has the best 1x1. Palm Beach, Jessica. best 1x1. Why the 192350 and not look at a 16 to 17? Liquid Smoke Mustang. This is graduate school for Mustang guys. 1920 had the better motor. Bright line ticket. Yeah, about to be a man with a 14-inch hammer. Indeed, was wondering, right? Sheesh, half the plane ticket right there. Spirit, $100 tickets. What happened to the Downs chick from the gym? I saw her today. She gave me the whole fucking cooling in the face. I was like, coño, yo creo que está retardada, pero no sé, no estoy seguro. Ay, Dios mío. I don't know. I'm like, there's a girl on Instagram that's, got a bit of the Downs. And she looks amazing. And everyone's posting her videos up and they're like, I don't know. I might be seen with that. Do you know what I'm saying? How much horsepower can a blender make? Exactly. Look, the last thing I want to do with my chick is talk to her about car stuff. No, rub the shoulders, take care of the kid. Like, we don't need to talk car stuff. You think I'm going to go on a date with a girl and be like, hey, I'm swapping, check this out. I'm swapping a Coyote and a Corvette. You know what the difficult part was? Mating the bell housing to the motor and then making sure that the height of the motor and the oil pan cleared the factory K-member. I still had to notch the pickup tube because I had to modify the oil pan to clear. But then I ended up having the windage tray gasket be an issue also. So I then had to remodify all this stuff. Also, the diaphragm on the clutch is about 2 inches away. So we had to then space out the flywheel. She's going to go, el toto está seco. Se me secó la chocha. Yo no quiero saber nada. BMR seat suspension for Gen 3. Oh, for Gen 3. Well. Well, the Gen 3 totally makes a difference. I have a 19 GT Performance Pack 1 with 20,000 miles for sale. Black on black, 10 speed. Would be cool to see on your channel. Sure, $20,000 I'll buy it. A PP1 10 speed, the worst one. A 19, $20,000. Alex sent you a video of a girl from the gym on the IG the other day. Yes, told him he was a special one. Plot twist, Jessica's actually KC. Yeah, she like pops in once in a while. Go for it, Alex. They want to be treated like regular people anyway. I go to shop with my cars, but I need to know what to buy or I'll end up buying a Super Snake. Yeah, no. Don't worry about that, honey. You just look. Let the guy buy you like a nice Beamer so you can get around town, get groceries, look cute, get your fucking nails done, get your feet done, and just have dinner ready for puppy. That's all we care about. Please don't buy the Super Snake. They don't give a shit about cars, right? When I want my wife to ignore me, I talk about cars. Connor says, well, how did the one guy swap his vet with a Coyote? No one ever did. That guy simply put a Coyote in a Corvette and then took it out. Meaning he physically placed it in the engine bay and took it right out just for clout. Jessica, backstory, how the hell did you wind up here? Right. Nardi Mercado, chocha. I've been eyeing the 350s, but I think I'm going to keep my 19 GT with a simple E85 tune by a 55,000 mile Model S Plaid. At this point, modifying oil pans makes them moist. Can I get a blow on this bitch? Chocha, says Alexi Gomez. Alexi, tú eres un hombre o una mujer? Ese nombre está un poquito loco. Surprise, Jessica's still here. BMR goes great with 3 valves. I drive fast cars. It's part of my sobriety plan. Here we go. Yeah, no, if you ever had like addiction issues, we're good. Every girl that has addiction issues is just Trifling. B58 Jessica. Right. Like, what I want to do with a girl is not talk about cars at all. I'll buy you a car that you're happy with. You want a Lexus, honey? You want a Lexus? Here's a Lexus. It's cute. You're going to trash up the interior. I know. Here, drive it. Shh. Go get groceries in it. Like, we ain't going to Cars and Coffee together. I'm going to go to Cars and Coffee. When I get home, I'll meter. That's it. I need a glass of sherry after this. Don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Don't even know what that means. Nombre de chocha. Jessica, best 6. What's your boring stroke? Is Jessica down with the abortion song? Does Jessica know that there's an abortion song here? Come on, man. That's like the Hellcat anthem. You know what I'm saying? Give her the side move. So I'm 8BORTING. Come on.
On my way to the clinic.
I forgot the plan B.
Let's go. Bitch, I got murder on my mind. Let's go. Bitch, I got murder on my mind.
Oh, love it. Love it.
Murder on my mind. Let's go.
I'm going to start playing that if she's a little late en la regla. Si no le viene el periodo, I'm like, mira, start playing this shit. Tell me about your relationship with your father. Jessica, what's the relationship like with your father? The dating channel making its way to this chat. Be careful, it's probably Crime Lord Admiral. My wife has never cleaned her car interior ever. Jessica has officially been initiated to the Amory chat. Predator, good night. It's only 6:20 in here. Okay. How can we confirm Jessica's a woman? She might have a supercharger. Down 5 hero. Got pipe down hero. Get them B58 and subscription to the automated car wash. Fuck up the pay. Hey, Jessica, here's you go to El Car Wash on Blue Heron and just run that shit through the slapper. Get the fucking swirl marks on the shit. Never clean the interior of your car. Have 3 different Starbucks shits in your cup holders. Stop it. Bro, every girl has like a nasty interior in their car. I've never seen a girl's car interior look good and clean. I'm like, bro, si adentro del carro parece así, ¿cómo se te ve la chocha? Man. Siempre la yuca. That beach cowgirl motherfucker has husband and then cursed me after leaving the chat. Saying she got murder on her mind after aborting is crazy. Alex, you're still cutting weight? No. I stopped cutting. Well, thank you. No. I started taking creatine. It went up and my diet hasn't changed. So I'm like, it didn't go up a lot, but it went up enough that made me go, okay, there's something happening. I was able to do the 3-plate bench after 1.5, 2 months of the creatine supplement working its way through my system. Lifts are way up, but it does bloat you because I take the monohydrate, so it does bloat you a little bit. But man, I like how I look. I'm a little heavier, but I can carry it well. For now, things are good. I don't know how at 47 I'm still like, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Again, I don't do anything. I don't do any drugs or anything weird to lower my testosterone. So honestly, I just go 5 to 6 times a week, crank it out, work on the cars. I mean, I'm like super scheduled with my regimen that way. Alex, you better get someone pregnant this year. Why? She better be hot though and rich. The only way I'm gonna get someone pregnant is if they got money. Fuck all that. Anchor baby. As long as it's not a man with a resonator deleter, she got eyelids on her Mustang with only rears. Yeah, she better not. Only OCD women have clean interiors. I bought my girlfriend 3 gold watches so that interior can get 3 gold washes so the interior can get cleaned. Creatine's legit for natty lifting, 100%. 3 plates, yep, 315. Yep, and I had a witness. I had a guy who is a, what do you call those guys that drive? Valet driver for the Breakers. Young kid, 22 years old, black kid. He's talking to me about Mustangs in the gym. He knows my channel and stuff. And I was like, hey, do me a favor. I need you to spot me on my shit. And he's like, okay, cool. And I did it just so that I'd have a witness. And I got 3 up, 3 plates, 3 times, unassisted, racked it. I'm like, okay, now I do my working set. And he was like, all right. So I was proud of that. I was really proud of that, believe it or not. Like being able to rep 315 after a couple of warm-up reps and feel good about it. It's nice being 100% natural. Like unless you consider creatine, not natural. Give her the car with the dead in the trunk. Bought my wife a Mark 8. She trashed it inside and out. Why do women not clean their fucking cars? What is it about women that will label their whole apartment or house? It says eat in the dining room. It says family in the living room. It says home on the front door. You have like OCD about cleaning the baseboard. The baseboard's got to be real white. So you're like on your hands and knees. But then you get in your nasty, gross ass Altima, Maxima, Corolla, whatever, Accord. Hand to God. My last girlfriend was great. My last girlfriend was a great. She was clean everywhere but the car. And it was a problem. I'll be honest with you. When I get in a car and it has dog hair up and down the motherfucker, my car has like, my Cadillac Escalade has like a Eibach Pro Kit in the back and an umbrella. That's it. No dog hair, no nothing. It looked like tumbleweed. I would get in that car with a black shirt and there was just hair everywhere. One of the most unattractive traits on a woman is how dirty they keep their car, interior wise. It was gross. It was gross. Test is probably on point due to the lifestyle. Love to see it. I'm telling you, everything is good. I'm really lucky because a lot of people ask how old I am at the gym, and I'm like, I'm 47. That's like 3 years away from 50. Watch me be jacked as fuck. Eventually, something's gonna have to happen because if my test gets low and I got, okay, so let's just at that point, let's just go on a cycle, huh? At that point, let's just fucking blast shit. Because if I have to get TRT, I'm like, we're fucking blasting, bro. Let's go. JFK, RFK, MLK Files about to drop. Thanks, Poppy Trump. I'm gonna get the jet free star pregnant. Okay. Women owned car equals never got an oil change. Oh, bro. I was talking to a girl elsewhere. Let's just say it's not whatever. Her ball joint was like, I'm like, your ball joint looks bad. Like the car is gonna, and sure enough, she got stuck somewhere. I wasn't about to fuck with it. I'm like, we're in the talking phase. We didn't even smash. Like once I smash, then I give a fuck. Ladies, once I smash, then I give a fuck. Some juice at that point, absolutely. 50 sucio, exactly. I can't stand. Are you a guy, Alexi? I can't stand people that have their pets roaming around the car, pet hair everywhere, and smoke with the windows up. Trend cycle, D-ball. There's a guy in my gym, 55, is in great shape. Women view cars as get me from point A to point B. It's basically treated like a giant purse. You know what? And how do men view their cars? Give me an analogy of how men view the cars. Women view it as their purse. You're 100% right. Every little thing everywhere has its own little pocket of bullshit. But what do men think as their car as? To me, it's like a horse. You have to make sure your horse is well fed. It gets you everywhere and it gets you there. And, your horse looks good, is healthy. Guys with motorcycles think of their motorcycles as horses, right? So it's not a tool. It's like almost like a reflection of yourself. When you buy a car, you want to see yourself in that car. The embodiment of what you think you are is that car. All my cars are dark colors. Most of my cars, like when I had a white car, was the red car was kind of flashy, but the Corvette and the GT500 and Donnie and the Escalade, the Escalade, it's like me personified, like dark, like nebulous, can't see inside it, leave me the fuck alone, but I show up and look halfway decent. That's all it is. White Air Forces, Jeremy, fasting, auto patchy, bro. Once I smash is when I stop giving a fuck. No, when I smash is when I start giving a fuck. If it's good. Slang Mode's Resonator Deleter says,
we have an MDRP Resonator Deleter.
Prized possession. Time to get the peptides and Wolverine stack. Alejandro Tate, new shoes. Begalo, this is why the Capri Sun 24s make sense now. I have to have my car clean. If I hear shit flying around when I'm hauling, it's an issue. Keep motherfucking clean and taken care of. Cars are side chicks. We view it as a reflection of what we want. If you work in an auto shop and you see that shit all the time. Car gets new shoes before I do. Love my white car with black accents. Corey Peter says, men view it as a complex mechanical system that must be taken care of appropriately. Almost a reflection of how you take care. Exactly. If you see a man that has a jacked up whip, he ain't shit. If your shit is busted, I'm saying 3 different tires, you got Ling Longs, you got Generals, you got Ching Changs and all the other, and you're like, you don't give a fuck. You are probably fat. Don't take care of yourself. Like, you don't see yourself as someone like, I don't know, that gives a shit about his appearance. I do. I definitely do. For me, not for anyone else. It's for me. You are treated different when you show up looking good somewhere. Do yourselves a favor, guys. Grab your best fucking suit or a nice jacket, pants, and go to a regular restaurant. You will be treated better. This guy looks important. Sorry, are you a business owner? So then show up with a black racing shirt to Texas Roadhouse with dirty jeans, nasty New Balances, and a dirty, gross, nasty hat. But you show up presidential looking motherfucker, people give a shit. If you put out good shit, people think better of you. Plain and simple. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. So we talked today about Shelby doing the hilarious thing of taking a Mustang GT, first offering you a Super Snake with a Whipple, then 3 months later or 2 months later, come up with a GT350 that's almost identical to the Super Snake, right? Like the same car, the GT with a Whipple, and the NA version, we don't know how much it's going to be. $100,000 Mustang GTs with a body kit, brakes, BMR suspension, and stripes. There is a customer base for it. It will sell, but people that know look at that car and they laugh at it because it is just slapped on Shelby stuff on a Mustang GT, just further proving that this thing is a malaise. This is the beginning of the modern malaise era for Mustang. I don't know how they're going to turn it around, but it's making Ford is the cause of other people that used to love Mustangs looking at other platforms to go fast in different things. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys on Sunday morning. Peasant Chat, Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. We're going to talk to the peasants, talk to poor people. We'll see what happens between now and then, and we'll talk some shit then. Again, guys, have a great rest of your night. I will see you guys on Sunday morning for the Peasant Chat. See you later. Bye.